How's it going, guys? Alex here. Welcome back to another Dokkan Battle video, and today I'm going to be doing something a little different, and basically I'm going to be showing you guys the best buddies for the legendary rares. And today in particular I'm going to be taking a look at Goku Black and Zamasu, and of course LR Trunks, which are both incredible units, but they have an interesting pair. It's not interesting, but like, they require such a specific unit to activate all of their links that not too many people may have access to them. Well, LR Goku Black more than anyone, of course. But of course, I am going to show you guys why that is. But it's pretty straightforward, of course. To activate every single link for the legendary rare on this team, you're going to have to pull 2 Goku Blacks, and I am fortunate enough to have pulled 2, so that is one of the reasons why I'm bringing this to you guys today. And if you don't have Goku Black, alternatively, you can use Zamasu, but legit, both the LR and the Transcendent Ultra Rare share 6 links, which is absolutely insane. The only link they don't share is a link that is exclusive to legendary rares, so unless you're running multiple LRs in one team, that link honestly just isn't relevant. But they do share 6 links, and the links that they share are Fear and Faith, Nightmare, Prepare for Battle, Big Bad Bosses, Fear and Faith, and Fierce Battle. So they clearly share a nice mixture of key and attack links, which, well, to be fair, Big Bad Bosses is a defensive link as well, so that helps you know, the LR tank even more, on top of what they already get from their super attack mechanic. But it's just crazy to see a unit that shares every single link with the LR, because that helps out massively, of course. And like I said, Zamasu is a great option, but he does not have that Prepared for Battle link, which means that he isn't going to be activating every single link that, of course, the LR has. And is this LR Super Attack 20? He must be. I mean, so far things are going like super well. And of course, the one thing that people have criticized about the legendary rare the most, or this one in particular, is the fact that he needs that build up. And it's not exactly the worst thing in the world, but because there are other units that can already do what they do without the build-up, it's just like, oh, what's the point? It's fun, don't get me wrong, because it's different. But at the same time, it's just like, it's kind of unnecessary. But to quickly move to the other legendary rare, yeah, I thought so. He is definitely Super Attack 20, because this man's attack stat is so high, so I'm going to try to get the other legendary rare to come back round so I can get him paired up with the Transcendent Ultra Rare. But yeah, definitely let me know in the comments who you want to see next. And I'm going to quickly address the video that I uploaded earlier. There was a bit of an editing mistake, so I'm going to try to fix that as soon as I can. And it will most likely be uploaded at a later date, just because it took me like 6 hours, probably more, to upload it. I honestly don't know, because I uploaded it overnight. But yeah, it was a pretty long video, and unfortunately there was that little mistake in there, so I do apologize for that. And okay, so now we have the rotation that we wanted. Zamasu, unfortunately, doesn't have the greatest defense, so he is going to take a bit of a hit here, but I'm going to go ahead and heal up. Going to use a Yema, and then going to go from there. And I'm really looking forward to trying out Trunks as well, because it, like, is somewhat, I mean, I was about to say he's somewhat in the same position as the LR, but that isn't the case at all. I mean, there are 2 units in particular that you can play around with, and it's the exact same for both units. But yeah, as soon as we get to Trunks, I will show you guys that. But I want to quickly get this other LR round, just to show you guys how hard he can actually hit with all of his links active. And this is a perfect rotation, because all of the attacks are going to be here. He is going to get a defensive boost from a super attack, and just to quickly have a look at how high his defensive stat currently is. It is currently at 52,000, and of course that is with the boost from Vegito active, and it's going to be even higher once he super attacks. Let's grab these. I don't think he's going to take him out here, but are we going to get super attacks? Yeah, so we are legit taking like triple digit damage, and we are going to take a bit more damage from this, because I believe Goku greatly lowers defense, which of course is going to lower our defense, but we are going to raise it here again. Big Bad Bosses is active, so our attack stat is at 1.5 million. And of course, he isn't even at, well, my one in particular isn't even at Super Attack 20, so still a long way to go in terms of damage. But as soon as I get him paired up with a Transcendent Ultra Rare, I'm going to show you guys what these guys are capable of course. I was about to say these mans, I'm like, no, that just sounds weird. So let's grab these, and I just did an Alex. I legit just did an Alex. That is what you call an Alex, ladies and gentlemen. Oh dear. It's a shame that Gogeta does not have Prepare for Battle, but what can you do? They gave him Shocking Speed instead, which isn't the worst thing, but like even on a tech team, that just doesn't work out too well. And then of course you have that Fusion team, which again doesn't work out too well. But I'm really hoping I'll get super attacks here, just because I want to see how hard I can hit with that big bad boss's link active, and I did not get super attacks. Took a reasonable amount of damage, but attacks at 1.6 mil. And of course, as soon as that big bad boss's link is active, you will see how much of a difference it actually makes. So I'm going to try my very best to get that link to activate. But of course, because of how much healing there is, and because of how close we are to a Dokkan mode, I don't know how soon that is going to happen, but we'll see. Okay, so unfortunately in this particular situation, he hasn't been attacked too many times, but we are pretty close to activating that big bad boss's link. Never mind, but I just want to quickly show you guys the damage with a Dokkan mode, and it's a shame that I did not get attacks too many times, but in a few rotations, we should be able to get that big bad boss's link to activate, as well as being able to get his attack to like his highest attack stat basically. But even now, he is hitting ridiculously hard despite not getting attacked that many times. And if I'm not mistaken, he's only been attacked 2 times during this particular attempt. And of course, he gets the crit. So there we go. That's going to spike his attack by a reasonable amount. And this is actually a good rotation, because it shows you that Merge Zamasu, despite not having that Prepared for Battle link, he is at like the very least still providing every other link. So it's not too bad. And of course, their attack stat is still pretty low, because they haven't been attacked too many times. And get super attacks. This is kind of perfect, because I still will need to get attacks on the other ones, I believe. But we're making progress. That's all that matters. But you can see the spike in their attack stat as soon as that link is active. It makes like 25% is massive. Okay, and are we going to stay on this stage for much longer? But as soon as I show that off, I am going to move on to the Trunks. Please attack me in the first lot. It's not too bad, and the boost from Vegito is active, so let's go with this. Ultimate attack is going to go off, so let's see what happens here. I suppose the boost from Vegito kind of makes up the big bad bosses isn't active. It's just another thing. You know what? I will try my very best to get that particular scenario to be active, essentially, and I will get back to you guys. So, to be perfectly honest, I'm actually kind of struggling to get that big bad boss's link to activate, and now that we have a type advantage, it's going to be even tougher, even if we do get super attacks here. So, I honestly don't know what to say. I mean, here it is without like any boost at all. This is him at max damage. Well, not any boost, but this is him without big bad bosses active, and he's an absolute beast. 1.6 million attack stat every single time, just the entire boost essentially. But I legit just can't get it to the point where that link is active. So I think I'm just going to let myself get attacked in this next turn. So that, I mean, of course I'm going to let myself get attacked anyway, but like, it's the healing. It's legit just the healing. And I will see if this is going to make any difference. But it's just a type advantage that kind of screws us over here in a way. But I'm hoping that we take a bit more damage. Maybe if we get super attacked, that'll make a bit of a difference. And what? Nah, if we get super attack, yeah, Gogeta's going to counter it. Okay, I think you guys get the point. We've basically established that his attack stat can get around, let's say, 1.8 million to 2 million with super attack 20. Every single attack link active, and, you know, all those things active. His attack stat can get pretty high when he has his link buddy. Let's just say that. Okay, so it's now time to move on to LR Trunks, and he has 2 very interesting partners. One of which is going to be Super Saiyan Rage Trunks, and the other is Super Saiyan 2 Great Saiyaman. For this video in particular, I am going to be using Super Saiyan Rage Trunks, but keep in mind that Great Saiyaman is also a very good partner. In the end, like for me, it just comes down to what I personally prefer, and you have to take into account that they both do different things. You have the Rage Trunks that is a support unit, whereas Great Saiyaman is a unit that can hit hard. And of course, they do share, like Rage Trunks and Super Saiyan 2 Great Saiyaman, both share 4 links with the LR. For example, we have Rage Trunks with Prepared for Battle, Shattering the Limit, Royal Lineage, and Super Saiyan, whereas with Super Saiyan 2 Great Saiyaman, he has Prepared for Battle, Shocking Speed, Super Saiyan, and Shattering the Limit. So the only difference there is that the Rage Trunks has Royal Lineage, whereas Super Saiyan 2 Great Saiyaman has Shocking Speed, which gives an additional key essentially. So Royal Lineage gives 1 key, whereas Shocking Speed gives 2 keys. So again, it comes down to what you personally want to run. Do you want a unit that is going to be giving that boost, that attack and defensive boost, to all of your units, including LR Trunks, or do you want another hard hitter? So it's just one of those situations. And of course, if you aren't aware of how much of an increase he gives a 20% attack boost every time he super attacks, as well as a 25%, pardon me, attack and defensive boost that, like, every time he's on the field, essentially. And now that is going to come into play as soon as I show him off. And there is actually another scenario that I want to show off, and that is with the Super Saiyan Bardock that is actually in the first rotation. And he doesn't have the Shattering the Limit link, but he does give key with his passive. And of course, he does have Prepared for Battle as well. To be honest, any unit with Prepared for Battle on this team that is going to be coming up in that first slot is going to help out the Trunks massively. And hopefully I can show you that to you guys in one of these particular rotations. But unfortunately, the Rage Trunks is in that third slot, and we have the LR in the second slot. So I'm going to put the LR in the last slot just so he comes back round with the Rage Trunks eventually. But yeah, it's definitely a fun team to run. And the KO that I'm currently using isn't, like, she normally wouldn't be optimal, but because my one is really good, because she's at Super Attack 10 and she has several ability system buffs, she is going to be working out, like, she basically works really well on this team. And because of how many times she can super attack and get crits, it just shows how good she can be with the potential system. And she hasn't even Dokkan yet, and that is something for the future, of course. And to be honest, KO just shows how good Broly actually is, because before the potential system, Broly wasn't like that great, but now with the potential system, both of them are actually pretty good. And because of how similar they are, there is literally, like, no argument. I mean, the only difference is that KO does benefit more from the potential system because she has a percentage type passive, whereas Broly has a flat out attack boost. But they are both relatively similar. And of course, those additional attacks for Broly make him a very good unit. And the fact that, you know, he can actually crit with every single super attack like Kale. Now we have the Trunks, who I had to put in his third slot, unfortunately. But he is going to come back round eventually. Now we have the Rage Trunks, but I'm going to put Vegito Blue in his first slot here. Going to keep Rage Trunks here, but he is still giving a boost to every single unit here with that passive of his. But Vegito Blue is tanking relatively well here. And keep in mind that he isn't currently maxed in the potential system, so keep that in mind. And of course, when the Potara category lead eventually comes out, it's inevitable at this point, he is pretty much going to be able to tank everything, even without potential system buffs, maybe. Will be interesting to see how that works. And this is actually pretty good, so I'm going to use the Yemma. And I am honestly, like, so annoyed that Kale does not have a Super Saiyan link. But I'm going to put Bardock in that last slot just so he comes back round with the rotation that I want eventually. And we should be getting super attacks here. It's expected at this point. How much we can take here? 67k. Considering how Gotenks lowered his own defense with his passive for a few turns, and his defensive stat isn't that high at the moment because this one in particular doesn't have too many potential system buffs. He didn't take as much damage as I thought. But to be fair, we did use the Yemma, so it's expected. Now Kale, that's one super attack. And nothing there, unfortunately. At least we are sealing the super attack for 2 turns, so at least we are doing something until we get the rotation that we want. And for some reason, whenever I try to record this video in particular, I can never get these guys together until now. But there we go. He is essentially going to super attack every single turn. And when you have key lined up like this, it just basically shows you that it's somewhat easy to get his 18 key super attack to go off consistently. But granted, I did get lucky there, so I'm going to try to do that again. But, you know, in a rotation, well, not rotation, but like in a scenario where I may not have that much, you know, that many yellow orbs, basically. And keep in mind that my Trunks is currently at super attack 10, so he still has a way to go. And he gets the crit. This man is an absolute beast, and he also gets a defensive boost every time he super attacks. That is something that I forgot to mention. We have the Rage Trunks. He does give that attack boost every time he super attacks, but of course, because of the LR attack first, he is going to be getting that. But Vegito is... What is this man going to do? Is he going to get another additional? He did. but it was a normal, unfortunately. Now, I believe he is still sealed. Is he? I am wrong. So, gonna go ahead and use this just in case. I'm actually going to super attack with Gotenks, and Kale does not have that Super Saiyan link. Why does she not have it? Remember when I said that, yeah, all placement was going to be bad? Well, I didn't actually say that. I was like, you know what? I'm going to show you guys a rotation where you may not necessarily... Oh, Gotenks. Gotenks. Why? Oh, of course. Of course. You know what? It's not even that bad. I can't even complain. I cannot complain. We are just going to move on to the next stage. And I actually think we are going to have the rotation I was talking about. Yeah, we have Bardock in this rotation. We have Rage Trunks. We have the LR. This is going to be the best example by far of... this is probably the best rotation. And it doesn't even matter because the Fierce Battle Link is something that Trunks doesn't have. So you don't really need it to be active here. So let's go with this. That's the ultimate attack. And keep in mind that Bardock's passive goes off when you're above a 30% restriction. So it's 2 key to all types when your health is 30% or above, which of course is currently active. So we're going to give the LR the boost. Super attack 10. Attack stat 1.2 million. And how hard is he going to hit for? With the crit, 1.7 million. And of course, I would show off Super Saiyan 2 Great Saiyaman, but it's the same for the most part. The only difference is that he does get 1 key, which would put him on 12 key instantly. And of course, it would be Super Saiyan 2 Great Saiyaman hitting hard instead of a Trunks providing the boost. But yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy the video as always. And if you did, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more. Let me know in the comment section down below who you want me to try out next. And I will do my very best to find a partner to use them with, or that particular, you know, unit with. But yeah, hope you guys have a great day, and I will see you all in the next one.